up to go live in YouTube as well. Still haven't figured out the lighting situation, but I'm getting there. So this Brenda Medicine Woman had put out there tonight, wonder what the spirits are going to talk about. And one of you lovely people came back and said, hey, how about if we talk about retrograde? I'm thinking, yeah, how about that? So we will talk about retrograde, and we'll not only will we talk about retrograde, but how does it apply to life? What do those stinking planets have anything to do with our life? Some of us are very confused by it all, and some of us aren't. And it's good that David's here because it's going to hit a shout out. But there he is. And look at all you wonderful people. So I have been highly trained to communicate with spirit and to communicate in a way where when I see your energies, it shows me what energies are missing, where you're out of balance, where you're putting too much energy in one area versus the other. We'll get into talking about matrices and the genders some other time. I was going to do that, and then I thought, no, it's kind of a heavy topic, but yet, so it was retrograde. I haven't really followed it for years. It's not usually my cup of tea. And then one of my followers, somebody that was on Facebook, suggests that I look at my birth chart just a little bit more, and so basically asked me, when we were born, my name, and it just so happens the way that everything lined up that Saturn can affect me. Now, in Ayurvedic medicine, it has a lot to do, or astrology, I should say, has a lot to do with the way the planet Saturn is. It has to do with karma. And so I went and got myself some jewelry, some horseshoes and other things. Isn't that superstition? And it's like, not really, if you understand how the planets all work to some degree. Hold on, something just... Anyway, it's we're all energy. Everything is energy. This is group consciousness. This is how we do things. This is, we all play a part. We've born under these planets, and it's how do you play along? How do you, if you're just going to be on this planet, okay, so then you're probably going to deal with what the fates, how it's dealt to you. All of a sudden the energies are scrambled. Okay, what do we do, people? I'm here to help you understand. You don't have to just be here and be here by accident or wish you weren't here. I want you to intentionally live. This is about life. This is about your soul. This is about listening to yourself deeper. When you feel scrambled, what do? Well, do the Wayne Cook posture. Cross your ankles, cross your arms or your wrist, and you breathe, okay? Don't just think, oh, I'll do it later or it looks ridiculous. You need self-care. You don't need to be taking on other people's energies. You don't need any of that. You need to begin to learn that you need to protect this part of yourself. In energy, that's all you are. And so the planets, the day you're born, they lined up. Oh, let's go a little deeper. Your soul wrote a bunch of stuff in the contract. I'm helping you see where your energy's stuck and things that you need to evolve from. And those retrogrades, it just means the planet's returning back, right? It's moving, but, it's just the illusion. But it is helping you understand that you can go back. And you don't have to be victim, not through victim consciousness or vulnerability personality. You need to evolve from that. Here we go. And I forgot which way I had it. And When you move beyond them, and how do you do that? Okay, just like when I give you a reading, use healing tools. Simple as that. It's just going to take some persistence and determination and guidance if necessary. But you can learn to resolve and to just cope, handle, deal, and pacify. You don't have to be a victim and let those emotions in life just tear you apart. There's so much more to it. So much more to this. So these planets, they're meant to help you. What personality did you choose? What particular purpose did you choose? What stopped you? All these little things. And it's important to remember that you share. You get a card, share to groups. That helps out tremendously. Remember to love up there on your little, like the videotape thing. Then you can get a card. So let's talk about it. We have a lot of planets. They go retrograde anyway, but a lot of planets this time around. And when you think of retrograde, you think of, oh my God, chaos, hell's breaking loose. But how about if you listen to the rhythm of what it is? When the energy goes in backwards, per se, and people have not chose to live intentionally, we'll see that it looks confusion, technical issues, difficulty communicating. But each planet does it. Each planet has a different voice. Mercury, it rules communication, information, and coordination. Well, guess what? We are a fast-paced society. And sometimes it's telling you to slow down. Sometimes it's telling you that you need to, just like the way that you have the seasons, you have winter, fall. Wow, I can't even talk. This is not their area of expertise, so I need to call in somebody that is. You have spring, fall, or spring, summer, winter, fall. And you have a period for each of those for harvesting and to planting. So when Mercury does this, it is asking you to come into balance with yourself. Instead of go, 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 go. Well, I want this, I want this, I want this. Understand that when the energy changes, it's not to, you need to set back. You can relax. You can reflect. Reflecting is a big, 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 big part of life. It's so important to reflect. But people don't want to do that. People don't think that it's necessary. Or some people just sit back and what do? They contemplate, right? That's usually good. But when they become doing it in ego, then it becomes anal. Your excuses, your reasonings, all of the reasons that you can't change, all of your fears, all of the negativity, all of the worries, that's not why you sit back and reflect. When you go into your spirit mind and you go into your heart and you ask, where am I losing energy? Why am I projecting such situations that don't need to be put out there? Well, sometimes it's for change. It's a catalyst for change. I had this big issue and you're like, well, what can you do about it? Well, I used hope therapy. I used emotional freedom technique. I used the tools so that I could catch my triggers. So I thank the souls that had to be assholes for me because it helped me to reflect. Chaos, contrast, they helped me to reflect and seeing what I'm actually producing out there. Okay. So when it comes to you deciding how you want to live your life, you have to pull away from just the mainstream that says you have to go, 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 do this, do this, do this. And then if you pull back too far, then you just be a lump that sits on a couch and does nothing. And you can become complacent. Finding the balance so you can have a nice wheel to put on your car so you can drive it. When you have a flat tire, you just skid. And when you have chunks missing out of the tire. It looks like a spoke. I mean, if it looks like a bicycle one, if everything's broken, nothing will actually move. And our emotions are the dictators because they get to tell you and use it as a guiding system. It tells you where you're stuck. It tells you where your pain is. It tells you how it's serving you. And then you got to deprogram all yourself from when you're a kid. So Mercury, you're learning how to communicate. If you're having problems communicating, then you can call in the angels or whoever, and you can balance that. You can do exercises for that throat chakra. You can, I'm scared to talk. Well, then heal it out. Oh, I really don't know how to answer that. Guess what? You can actually heal that out too. And you can get some education and you can see how other people do it. Somebody said they weren't sure what love looks like. Well, watching love movies, seeing how people have, going to weddings, seeing how people communicate, see how kids communicate, see how, and you begin to allow yourself to observe what you're asking, but not through the ego mind. That is going through the filters. It says your cup is full. I know that. The dangerous thing to say is I know that, because then your cup's full. You won't take anything else in. You're going to observe. And so you're having problems with communication. Find out the areas. Look at yourself and say, I don't really have a voice. Well, what's important to you? To have a voice, well, how is it important to you to communicate what your needs are? Don't go through it all with your emotional state, but understand that that guidance system will help you understand where you can't speak, where you don't have the will to speak, where you don't have the emotions to speak. Okay, so then information. Sometimes you want things done and you can't get the information. Well, sometimes you have to go inward. And spirit will give you information in a different way. You need to become more well-rounded. Coordination. Oh, that's a big one. I'm always falling or doing something. And it's all about energies. And ever since I can remember, I seem to be more right dominant than left dominant. And it's learning to balance the energies in my body. It's not just weight control and muscle control. It's energy control. And when I'm working through my meridians, I have more issues on my right side of my body than my left. And so sometimes the energies aren't communicating back and forth, so they're not crossing over. So sitting back during those retrogrades, going internal, slowing down, seeing what you need to work on. And when you do that, you don't get it so that it's an enemy. It actually turns into a blessing because you get to see a little bit more. And if you have healing tools, great. Then you can resolve some of the stuff so you don't have to sit there and worry. Okay. Yes, it is going to, it goes, let's see, how does this go? Mercury in this case is from July 7th to August 2nd. And then October 31st to November 20th. So, take your time. You can do what everybody else does, and that's just wait for it to happen and just bitch about it. Use your excuses and your reasonings. Or you can sit back and use your intuition. Start looking at the areas of where is my issue with communication, information, and coordination, and what can you do about it? So during that time, I'll usually do yoga or just regular stretching or maybe weightlifting. I don't go intense. I just balance that out. Information. I mean, sometimes I'll just turn around and I have to spend hours just studying something just so I get that fulfilled. But it's the communication between I need to be an extrovert and be an introvert. So it is definitely back and forth information. So communicating and working with yourself. Venus goes retrograde every 18 months, and that rules love and harmony and compassion. So if you're out of those areas, then you're going to have issues. Okay. How? Well, let's see. I have problems with harmony. Okay, harmonizing myself, harmonizing with people. Why would I do that? Well, guess what? This is where my readings come in. This is where a personal private session works, because you get to find out what are those things that cause the limitations and those decisions and those beliefs and that chaos. You can actually change it. That's what I like about it. Now, it also governs relationships, money, and love. So old relationships may come up. Old issues of money will come up. But again, you get to look at it and say, you get to find another perspective. You get to look at it deeper. You're not just a program that's constantly having to repeat itself. You get to learn if you pay attention. Mars goes retrograde every 2 years or so. So I think it was, let me see, when does Mars go again? It already went last year, the 18th. So I think, from my understanding, I think that Mars doesn't go retrograde, or Venus this year, because it already went. But, it's important to understand that means travel, finishing tasks, renovating. But we're not going to talk about that too deep, because guess what? It's not going retrograde. Saturn, my lovely little planet. Karma. It's about structure, discipline, and responsibility. If you're having problems with structure, which sometimes I do, then you need to, I noticed that I could not really get back on the ball, and I had to stop myself and realize that, the structure I used to have, 2 hours in the morning is just my time to do whatever it is business-wise, but don't talk to another human, really, until I've had that 2 hours to do whatever it is that I have to do for myself. And then the rest of the time, it's about business. That means I can't really talk personal. Sometimes I can, but I will allot only a certain amount of time. I still run in a home-based business. That's huge. That's completely huge. People think that, you run a business, you do nothing. No, you're on 24/7. So I realized my pattern was so screwed up that I sat down with my little buddy Saturn and I said, okay, what do I need to do? And when it does go retrograde, you will ask to test your strengths. Now, disciplining. I know that I've gotten off track of, it's so funny because coming from the US, I was in Michigan and my winters were now, but in Australia, it's winter now, and my body, I don't think has caught up with it yet. Those programs, I think, are still functioning from that time period. So it's a little bit strange for me because I can't really understand my programs sometimes because they sound a little weird. When it comes to Mercury will be from July 7th to August 2nd. And then October 31st to November 20th. Okay. So let's see here. I thought I had Venus written down because I thought that was important to kind of, there's Saturn. Well, isn't that just hunky-dory? I didn't write that one down. Anyways, the point is, when it comes to that Saturn, it's a planet that controls what? Well, of course, my thing's missing, but it helps us show us our limitations. It's not just an energy that's out of balance. But what is our limitations? Because limitations, self-imposed, can still cause you to have energy imbalances. I talk to people about this when they say, well, I don't understand what you mean by self-imposed limitation. Like, for instance, let's say you bite your tongue. All right. You bite your tongue because you don't want to cause a shitstorm. Well, guess what? That's also communication. So if Mercury comes in, that edge will come forward too. So looking at your limitations, you can decide, well, other people do them, I can't. Well, guess what? That's another belief. You need to go in and change that. Anything where you feel that you can't or you have to, understand some of those are self-imposed limitations that you created as a child. You know, your 2-year-old self. I don't care. I'm 51 years old and my 2-year-old self still runs some of my programs. It's like, grr, but I just have to take it at another level because I haven't really let go of that perspective or that belief system. And you can do that. You can do that by a lot of ways. A lot of times I'll just do empowerment through enlightenment, which helps people and educate them like I do here when I talk to you here. Okay. Now, let's see here. When you think of Saturn, it gives you a chance to sit back and rethink your own set of rules. Right and wrong. I grew up and people would babysit me, and then I'd have my own family, and then I'd have the siblings. And I'll tell you, everybody had their right and wrong, their own personal right and wrong. And as soon as I thought I followed somebody's, then they changed it. Or I'd follow it and apply it to somebody else, and that was wrong. Man, I got into trouble a lot. I didn't know what to do, so half the time I would just check out and not talk to anybody. And even when it came to friends, I'd like, I wasn't sure what to do. And as I got older, I realized, wow, it's how we interpret right and wrong. It's how we apply it through our culture, our rules, our religion, our government, our own personal beliefs at home. I'm everywhere. Yes, we have some that are the absolute, you shouldn't kill anybody. But understand, when you have to fix that moral compass, which is like right now, I feel like the United States is that root chakra, and it has to go through all of those different levels about what does it mean by tribe. So one of my family members that was upset with me, they're in the United States, they're going through that root chakra, and they are going through tribal. I should have obeyed the family rules. You know, and it's like, whoa. You know, and I see this and it's like, I have to just respect where they're at because they are going through all of their life lessons that they need to work on. And it doesn't help when a planet says, hey, time to look at your shit. Just to let you know. Now, what I'm going to do afterwards is that when I do the mini reads, we're going to look at what planet, where you're stuck. Okay? Once you begin to understand where you're stuck, then when a planet goes retrograde, you don't have to sit there and let it control you. You can actually evolve from it. That's what we're doing, people. We're evolving. Okay? So when Saturn goes retrograde, it is time to examine a lot of the failures and how to learn how to move past them. Well, first educate yourself. It's not failures. It didn't work because the right door wasn't open. It didn't work because you didn't get enough information. It's basically timing. And it is all about, I need to look at another perspective. And as soon as you do, it goes click, click, click. And you're amazed at how each one of those failures gives you that knowledge from being a kindergarten to graduate. You get to really really get the wisdom off that. So you got to change how you think all this stuff is bad. When it feels like chaos is happening, stop and understand that you're asked to just, set back, change your pace, fix your wheel. Understand if you wanted to go a little deeper. Is it about communication? Is it about, love? What's it about? So just to let you know, you have more than just a coping tool. You're getting knowledge, wisdom, and you can use kind of resolution tools to help you. Now, Pluto goes retrograde this year, but it goes retrograde every 5 to 6 months. We've already gone through this stuff. We're always going to keep going through, and I think we're doing pretty good. Okay. So, Pluto. Pluto is deep. When it goes retrograde, it makes you reflect in ways that are a little more serious. So don't take life so seriously. But yet, you have to learn to go deep within yourself. And it will bring out the dark shadows. It'll bring out the things that you said, oh, I can't be a bitch, And at the same time, you're a bitch, right? I can't do anger. I can't tell somebody how to do it. But yet at the same time, you've got workers in your kitchen remodeling, and they're sitting there. You're paying them as they're sitting there having a cigarette, or you're paying them while they're eating. And that's not even your lunch break. They're just sitting around chatting. And to be able to know that I'm scared to stand up for myself. This is something you need to do. You reflect deeper and realize where are not just your limitations, but what is your shadow self. And then you have other stuff, all the things that you won't face. Pay attention to your excuses and your reasonings, because you're stopping yourself from actually moving forward. And if you keep listening to those excuses and reasons and keep using them, you're not going to learn to listen on a whisper. You're going to wait for that bitch slap to knock you down, get you on your knees, and force you to change. And do you really want to do that? You need to intentionally live. So Pluto highlights our power and desire. You'll have to go honest with yourself and how much you're motivated, or a need for recognition, money, authority. So, do I need power? And a lot of it is, have you lost your power? You need to get it back. And a lot of all the healing, the resolution tools, that's one thing that happens is when you feel negative, or you feel lost, or you feel worried. And even just your physical body, you got aches and pains, and then I give you acupuncture points to rebalance them. You have lost power, one way or the other. Where it's scrambled, it's lost, you're disconnected, you're frozen. That's just in the physical. And then what happened? You're in a world, create your outer world, and so then you get to look out, and you're like, oh, same shit happening. Well, you have to understand. It is your decisions, it's your beliefs, it's your values that cause you to lose power or be hungry for too much of the unhealthy power. And you have life force power. You have a personal life force power. And a lot of people get that confused with, I have to have power and dominate the world. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. But you need your power to live. Now, Jupiter's a little nicer because it goes retrograde every year. It's associated with good fortune and wisdom and progress. And it can help you figure out how to reach your goals and help motivate you and to get you there. When it goes into retrograde, those effects don't get to you, don't get to us as easily. It gives us more time to move towards our goal. It helps us find our mistakes. So it's nicer. It's a nicer planet. How's that for you? But again, a lot of these want you to slow down, learn how to become happier, learn how to let go of a few things. Uranus. That's the rebel planet. The power of changes. Oh, how many people hate change? No, I love it. I need that change. I will create change. I work with that energy because my energy is random. And when my energy is more random instead of stagnant, then I need that rhythm of change. I've healed so much fear that I don't have to be afraid of change. So you have a choice. Okay, so when Uranus goes retros, it'll push you into confronting your fears. Now that's the problem, is that people hate change, and if you do, you're going to have more fear. Now there's a lot going on with these planets. It starts Uranus starts revolutions, it starts war, it wants major change, and I have a feeling this one will probably want to create a bitch slap if you don't honestly begin to look at your programs. Now, a lot of you will look outside and you'll see people and you'll see issues, and you live out there. You have to learn to live in here, and you need to then look at life as clues. It's a catalog of life, of what you want to be, what you don't want to be, where you are, how you want to move. And the moment you become stagnant and think, okay, I'm comfortable, I don't need to do anything, you're saying you're stopping yourself from living. Well, guess what? You're going to get your ass kicked, because that's not what you wrote in your soul contract. Your soul contract says, if I'm not here, but I'm over here and I refuse to go here, then guess what? You will get a bitch slap. Now, I mean, it first comes up as small signs, and I pray you all see them. You can learn in a whisper. You can learn through joy, intentionally living. You can learn, and you can heal, and you can grow, and you can use tools. Or you can do what the average daily life is. I don't have to tell you what that is. You know what that is. You get up, you have the same days you did the day before. You get up and you have the same days you did before. You may say, oh, well, I didn't go to the store yesterday, or I didn't do gardening yesterday. I'm talking about your programs. How the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. When's the last time you inspired yourself? And if you don't inspire yourself, you will get inspired. It may seem like a bad thing, but it'll probably be a blessing. When this issue with this person came up in my life, it was a catalyst to help mend something. And I found that interesting because it took something bad for something good to come out. And as I was asking Spirit, what do I do? They said, don't address it. It's going to evolve into a better thing. You're just going to have to take the heat for a few minutes. And it's like, I've been here before. Okay. And so I did some healing on any of the pain that was there and let it go. I'm okay with that because I'm intentionally living. Well, so, when you think about somebody says my ass is being currently kicked right now, whatever tools you're using, ask yourself, how's that working for you? If you're saying that your life is hell and you're trying everything you can to change it, understand you had probably the same mind that created it. You're trying to use the same mind to change it. Now, you can't do that. You have to learn something new so you can change something old, because otherwise you're going to use the same routine. So how is any of that working for you? Keep learning. Use other things. Add it. It'll just make you feel better. Trust me, you'll grow. And like I said, some of the people that I've been working with, I'm going to ask them to do some video series with me so that, you just don't have to read reviews. You can go on this journey and you can see for yourself that it doesn't have to be horrifying. What's horrifying is the life you chose and you're stuck with it and you feel like hell and you're just not happy. Okay. So when Uranus is in retrograde, it will kick your ass. How's that? Uranus. Okay, so you're forced to really see what we want and who we are. Now, you think that I could tell you things and you think that you're in the hot seat. Imagine what Uranus does. It lights that match and sets your butt on fire. So you really got to think about that. So it tells you to look at what no longer serves and let it go. It tells you your strengths and what you don't have. Neptune. Yeah, that's a planet I don't usually hear. But Neptune, retrograde happens every year for about 150 days. Not 2 weeks. 150 days. Is described as the dreamy planet. This helps us explore spirituality. See, you just for a moment, they're going, 150 days! But it's about spirituality, faith, and fantasy. It helps you go into that transformation. It'll get you sometimes you can have a harsh wake-up call if you're resisting. But if you allow yourself to flow with it, it can be a good thing. And then you can allow the major changes to happen without being slapped in the face. So if you think about it, it's the helping you get real with yourself planet. So we have a lot of things that are happening. Like I said, according to this, all right, so we had Jupiter, but that's already ended. It was done by April 10th. I think it was done. Pluto retrograde begins on April 24th and is 5 months long until October 3rd. Wow, that's a long time. Really? So Pluto is this part of the how does it go? It says, wow. It spends nearly half of its time in a backward spin. It's a god of the underworld. That's interesting. It's rewinding, reflecting, and reviewing and reevaluating. Doesn't sound too bad. And you will be facing your shadow selves. Power struggles can happen. And all these are telling you is that you need to sit back and it's a time to reflect. If you just constantly are going and if you think, well, I reflect all the time, I sit on the couch. No, you're not getting the reflection. You need to go in to find that reflection. What patterns are you doing? What habits are you doing? What is going on? You have to pay attention. So the readings you're going to get tonight. And if you want a paid one, I got to probably turn that on, see if anybody's paid. You're more than welcome to. It's $11 for 11 minutes. That can happen. And if you have paid and it doesn't pop up, you just have to let me know because we had issues with it yesterday. Okay. So now there's a lot of personal things that are going on, but I just noticed the time. And there's different times that you just understand no matter what time it is, you're always asked to slow down inward. You're always asked to take that step into yourself and always look at the shadow, always look at how you need to grow, how to get out of the program, how to be more than just the matrix. And that's what the reads usually are. The reads will tell you, the little mini speed readings will tell you it has a lot to do with where you're stuck. But I don't just give you the reading and where you're stuck, where you're losing your power. I give you tools. I give you tools to be able to go to that next step. And the tools help you resolve to evolve. And that's what the planets want. That's what your soul wants. Okay? Okay, so let's see. As I'm looking at this, I will go back and I'll eventually get to, hey there, Queen Mother. We're going to do some readings in just a moment or two. And Lisa, you're finally going to make it home. Good, safe travels. Thank you, angels. There's a lot. Okay, yeah, so good. There's a lot of shared stuff going. That means you all get a card. Yes. Okay. Now, how this works, just so you understand, is that you just say, yes, please, but you don't ask 1,000 times. Just say it once so that I can go in order. Now, over here, we have Queen Mother that already knows how to play this game. So, it's not even a game. So, everybody else say, yes, please. And I'm going to look at what it is that your soul wants you to address. So you don't have to fight the retrogrades, but work with the retrogrades. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. I miss you. You know what, Queen Mother, you have a very sexy voice. I miss your voice. Anyways, I'm proud of you, though. Oh, timer. Good point. Spirit says, wait a minute. We're not doing this right. Oh, you get a minute and a half read. Doesn't sound like a long time. It certainly freaking is. Okay. What is it? You've had to go in different with somebody. And that feels like you can't tolerate something. And if I ask Spirit, what is it needs to be addressed about this whole thing, is it says, notice how you react. And you may go into silent brooding. And you're carrying that, not being able to speak up, or you don't want to speak up, or you're done with that. But you're carrying that silent brooding. And if I ask why, they say because you're around self-centered people. It is the self-centered people that causes you to feel this going into that space. So you don't want to act mean, and that's good. And let's see. The value is, I value being kind. Okay, I value people's opinion. Yes and no. There's something about the value, but if I would say what's important to you, it's important to be kind to everyone. Okay, when you have kindness, that's great. It's a great value, but you also have to understand when to put your boundaries up. So she would attract self-centered people because feeling what? Feeling sometimes that you'll have the instability. Something will occur, and whatever that instability is, it attracts these people in. And you have to face that feeling. So that instability feeling, is it the environment? Is it love? Is it what's the instability? It's about family. So there is it a memory? It's now. So something that you're going through, it creates a disturbance. So when you're around someplace, you can actually feel the triggers. So go in, write those down, and literally stop them, tap them out, change it, because that emotional cord is causing this reaction. Okay, it doesn't look like the silent brooding. Yeah, that's not very healthy. Okay, so now we have the first person I see is, now see, you probably sound as Rachel. My sister would have spelled it Rachel. So Rachel, I think, because you got the E first. Hunt. When we look at what retrograde to do for you, it'll tell you that the first thing is that you have to take care of how you have to be, lofty. It's like, I can handle this. I can do this. And there's a different type of behavior that you have to address and to do. And they're saying by doing that, that causes you to change the frequency to the point where it cancels what you ordered. Really? Okay, so what that means is law of attraction. You've said you wanted something to the universe. I want this. Thank you very much. And then you have to go into carrying on and a certain behavior with people, and it literally creates doubt. It creates all these things. And then you stop yourself from receiving what you want. So it's like saying, I would like this. And then when you go into certain emotions and behavior, you're saying, no, thank you. I'll wait until next week. So you're doing a tug of war here. So they're saying that the one main thing is that you're forced into having to show the upper hand. They're saying that was something that you learned as a child, but you don't have to. If you work with the universe will show you how to not having to force to get the upper hand. It's literally looking at letting that go. That usually is not something I see. Natalie Harris. So this, again, the retrograde. So they're going in and says, you have some anxiety. They're saying that it's going to trigger it. And if you understand that that's just an auto response, it's an auto response that you got while you were inside the womb. And so you picked it up from your mother. So it becomes a prenatal conception. And if I asked how that's so, they're going to say it has to do with feeling inadequate. This is where I would tell you to get a magnet. And refrigerator magnet's fine. And then you would just take and you would say this 10 times. And you say prenatal conception. Okay. You start here. Prenatal conception, inadequate. Prenatal conception, inadequate. Prenatal conception, inadequate. You do that 10 times and breathe. And literally it'll start to pull it out of that program. And is that okay? That's good. And then if she did this, then would it change the auto response? Yes. Is there something else? Yes. At 2 years old. Yes. Is there two things? No, 2 years old. Okay. What is going on? It was, you could feel the contempt from people, and that set off the anxiety. So not inadequate and contempt kind of would change it. Okay. So I would definitely say do that healing, tap out the contempt. Any of these, you guys can at any point make an appointment with me, and I can walk you through and get you through it quicker than you trying to figure out how to do it on your own. Beth Williams. Awkward. So I see that you're going to be going into an awkward state, or you have been, but you the way you look at it, you're like, I feel like you're sitting in the chair and you see like two people and you're just in an awkward state, and you're like, you're watching something and you just don't want to be there. Now, the thing is that you're hooked into that thought, and those pictures are there. And the first time that you ever felt that awkward was when you were 3 years old. What happens to you is that you do not want to feel that, because you feel like you're out of control and you have to be, I see, it's like, it feels like swamp. Ew, I don't want to be in here. Ew. But it actually it causes arrested development, because if you don't want to have that issue with the awkwardness, you're going to stop yourself from achieving or being in situations that's causing you to develop and to grow. So I would say you need to look, is it in the pictures? It's in a feeling. So you have to look at the feeling of awkwardness and pull it out, put everything on the scale from 0 to 10, pull it out. And then you have to learn to transform the energy, put it back in and pull it out. Keep doing it. And as you do, the number will become less and less. And you're cueing yourself, telling yourself to let it go, pulling off and letting all the negative emotions disappear. Miss Robin Schultz. Oh, I don't know what that is. I just saw you have a grumpy face and looking. I heard the word magpies. I don't know what that was. What is it? I don't know. I'm going to have to end up writing that word down because I don't know what my handwriting is. Compatibility issues with people, food, environment, compatibility issues with yourself. So you're not compatible with yourself about what? So the energy's inside of you. So which meridians? How many? 2. The liver meridian and the large intestine. Are they scrambled? Yes. And are they from surgery or anything? Have you had any surgery? Because they said there was some type of thing that caused the energy to become scrambled. And with that, I would tell you to look up, go to Donna Eden, and you're going to look at sedate and tone. What did she say? Sedate and strength, or tonify and sedate. Sedate and strength. Anyways, you type that in, and you're going to type in large intestine, and then you're going to type in liver, and then you've got points that you can hold to strengthen and sedate. So the first thing you want to do is you want to sedate, and then you strengthen. And you do it to both of them, and you do it at least 2 or 3 times a day. And you need to do it for at least, maybe, I'm hearing a week to, because you're going to be getting to start to feel better, because those energies have to, what you're doing is jump starting them. And so the energies can start to, the meridians can start to weave back together. And so that then the energies can start weaving the body back together. You can manipulate them, and it's not going to correct them. But when you start to sedate and strengthen, you are jump starting the whole meridian to start functioning again. Okay. Amy Jensen. All right. So the talk about the contempt, they're saying it's a strategy. You have a strategy about how to get, when you see people have contempt, you have a strategy to get them to become disarmed. But understand that's not a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing because it causes you to, you can adapt, but it causes you to become less of who you are, if that makes sense. And so in a way, you're selling yourself short of your voice, of your who you are. And I also still see you going back into that little, I don't know what it is. I see a little face. It's like, maybe, is it a bitch face? No. Wallow. What face are you showing me? It's too awkward. I don't want to go there. Yeah. So then you can feel them manipulating you. And so you haven't learned how to develop healthy boundaries or a voice, or because there's a part of you that thinks if you didn't do that, then they would take and reject you, like how abandonment feels. So you don't really want to experience that awkwardness of abandonment. So you haven't developed how to move past that, if that makes any sense. What you can do is R2D. Okay, because there's a part of you that still worries, that's still hooked to it. Brittany Lynch. Oops, timer. You, others. They're saying that the planets are going to show you about pride. The pride in things. As you begin to have pride in things, you're going to have people that are going to be very ego-ish pride. And they, oh, wow. These people, oh, wow. I just hear that they can get their feelings hurt easily. But what it is they don't mind biting first in a nice way, which means, so if you're being proudful of what you just did, they may have a right and wrong that, oh, you're not supposed to be vain. And at the same time, as soon as they start to do the same thing, do as I say and not as I do. And then all of a sudden you call them out on it. How dare you, Brittany? You know what I mean? So they are literally, and so you have a tendency that as soon as they start acting that way, you kind of match their vibration, and then you take the heat so it calms things down, if that makes any sense. So you're losing power. Again, these planets are going to say to you, get your ass up. Notice where you're losing power. And as you begin to lose power, it's because you feel that you have to live through others. Heal how you have to live through others. Get rid of that I have to live through others, because you don't. You got to begin to correct that, change that, heal that, which changes your dynamics with relationships with people. Aw, David, you sweetheart. He says, everyone should share if you care about her. Aw. But I didn't see a yes, please. I think a part of you knows you don't want to hear it, and you do want to hear it. You already know. You're recovering for one. But what would the spirit say about David? No, I'll wait until you say yes, please. I'll just teasing you. I think I already did Rachel Hunt. Yep. Let's go down a little bit further. Allison Jen. Just want to thank. Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you. You don't want one, sweetheart? Well, you're welcome. Okay. Angela Beecham. Angela Beecham. What? I hear rootin' too fruity. What? That's not rootin'. Okay, rootin'. I don't know who you're coming through, but you're not coming very well. Someone over here from the other side is saying there's an auto response. It's just an automatic auto response. Oh my God, rootin' tootin' something, and then you go in. She go really. There is this helplessness. So this is what's called the power dynamics of your gender. And it's like men are supposed to see you as powerless, helpless. Or it could be that you thought if I showed a feminine side that I'm helpless, or overtime helpless. There's a whole dynamics, and there's so many perspectives on this wheel. But this auto response was something that you picked up about 1 year old, and then it gives you attention. As you may not even know that somehow it's connected to what you're doing now with yourself. And I don't know if you necessarily do it with people as much as you do it to yourself. And so there's a healthier way to give yourself attention, and that is to just, I'm going to schedule it in. I don't need to be sick I'm scheduling this in. This is my time. No excuses, no reasonings. You don't have to self-justify. You just do it. Okay. Toya Lewis. Habits. They're saying that you got some particular habits that are going to keep coming up and biting in the ass. And then all of a sudden you try to change it, it keeps biting you in the ass. So these habits, are they physical? Are they emotional? They're emotional habits. The emotional habit is you panic. But that's just the way I do things. I run to the end of my timeline and I got to panic. And then I feel better because in a way, see, if I didn't panic, the bad shit's going to happen. But then, so you lose a lot of power. Do you understand what I'm saying? I really feel that it's like covering all your bases. But this habit is not healthy because you'll be sitting there and you'll start doing a reaction. Somebody will come in the room and you just get into the reaction, and it's unnecessary, misplaced panic. Oh, but somebody says, well, that's how come we know that you love us. But the thing is that you can show love in a whole different manner. Maybe is there a dynamics of a relationship of trauma dramas? So you may have a friendship that's based on trauma drama. And if that's the case, then you're going to have the issue of knowing how to really have a relationship in a very healthy way. Okay. So it's important to understand look at the habits, look at the auto response, and say, do I really have to answer this way every time? Do I really have to act this way all the time? You can choose healthier for yourself. Nick Hayes. Nick Hayes. All right, hold on. Just want to make sure nobody's paid. Thought I heard something strange happen. Okay. Okay, Nick Hayes, there's a lot of allergies or something going on. It's like coming in my throat. Now, are you even aware of this? Okay, no, the question I'm asking is that inner crying. Are you aware of the inner crying? Your body is doing something, and it's a 2-year-old. It's like you had to learn to hold it in. It's like you're not allowed to express. No, I'm not allowed. I just heard the word shut up. Shut up and take it. But anyways, there's some inner crying going on, which doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it does, but they said it's attached to a picture. Yeah. So your body, it's in your eye. What does that mean? It means that we take pictures with our eyes, and you have a particular picture that's stuck, and you're remembering this picture, regardless if you do, your body does, and you could actually, and what's that picture related to? And that picture is related to feeling attacked. So like you'd be watching a TV show and you'll see somebody being attacked, and all of a sudden your body will start doing something uncomfortable, or that inner crying will begin, and you're like, God, I got sinus. What? Your body's going to say, we remember. So you literally can go in and heal this out. Again, any of you can just make an appointment. Allison Jen. Did I already give you one? I can't remember. Yeah, that's okay. Action. You're not taking action. You're stuck on your ass. I mean, literally, they're showing me that your ass is stuck with glue on the chair. And then it feels, they're showing a heavy bottom. Don't take offense. They're just showing me that you can't get up. And that can mean many things, but at the same time, it's an auto response. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So all of a sudden you're not ready to, and you're like, So you go into a feeling state inside the body, which causes you to keep responding the same way. And they're saying that when you have to recognize when you're going into that habit of going, no, you need to change it, disrupt it. You can tap it out with EFT. You can allow yourself to say, I can choose to get better, or you can flip the script. And if the emotions literally are going to cause you to be stuck, then put your hand here like this and leave it there and feel that feeling and think that feeling and be that feeling. And what happens is that you keep your hand there long enough, and if you put everything on a scale from 0 to 10, it'll go down. The thoughts will go down, the emotion will change, even if it's the thought of the feeling of nothingness, it will change. Yeah, because you got it stored in your body. That's why your ass is stuck. And then self-justification will come in, your excuses, your reasonings, and then the universe will say, oh, yeah, you're right. Here's some more shit for you so you don't move. But at the same time, it just seems like a lot of chaos to be stuck there. So I guess the question is it worth it? I need a checklist. Keisha Mann says hello. Okay, didn't say yes, please. Natalie Harris, I think you said thank you. Yes, please. Okay, yes, Keisha Mann. Okay, yes. Compatibility, relationships with self? No, with the environment. So you're having problems with the environment. Are you even aware of it? No. Is electromagnetic frequencies? No. Emotions, people from other people's emotions. So the people that are in your environment, they can like be mad and then they leave the room and their anger stays there. Or you will feel and have memories in the corner of, let's say, someone that you love sat in that chair, but literally it will start affecting you. So there's different things that are going on in the environment that causes what? You to feel you can't be yourself. It's like, okay, that piece of furniture came from my mother, and my mother told me always that I could not fight back. So now that I'm supposed to take it. Okay, so and you look at these little things that you do, you have to understand that they are stopping you. The environment and triggers are stopping you. It's bringing up the voices and the rules about other people that Yeah, that's interesting. It really feels. And they say you have to take action. You're going to have to like use some lemon spray or whatever to clean some stuff off. Be aware of the trigger that chair affects you. And then you hear your mother's voice. You need to kick her out of your head. If it's something that tells you that you can't be something, because it says you cannot be you. So that's related to not being you. And hello to the people in YouTube. If you want a reading, you say me too, or please, yes, please, and then I'll do a reading for you too. Oh, yes. I don't know, Robin. I heard magpie. It was really weird. Let's see. Anybody else didn't get a reading? Let's just say yes, please. Oh, here we go. No. Oh, thank you. That was nice of you, Brittany, for telling. Okay, good. I have a yes. Okay, Christy Ann McKay. Wow. All of a sudden, it's like I heard loud music, and then all of a sudden I had earmuffs. I mean, like plugged. Dang, it was like deafening. Habit. What's a habit of hearing and blocking? So you auditory? Yes, which means you can read between the lines. When you get stressed, oh God, it doesn't make sense, and you go into irrational thinking. Gotcha. But what happens? But this has become a habit. What is it? Oh, they're always talking about me. Yeah, so if you have that belief that they're always talking about you, understand they may not be talking about you, but you're going to draw them to you as if they are. You're going to find proof to go with that thinking, even if it's not happening, because you got to be right. So literally, you've got to take that belief system out. I believe they're talking about me. I know they are talking about me. This is EFT I'm doing, by the way. You need to disrupt that pattern because it's not the age that you're thinking, it's your 1-year-old self. And the 1-year-old self used to listen to the parents or people or whoever it was talking, and they had that habit. So you believe that you have to have that habit too. But that affects your world terribly because it puts you in positions where people are going to have to talk about you, even if the ones that you accused first didn't. But why? As it can't be just from the belief system. Yes. Have you had a lot of heartache with it? Of course you're going to. I'd say heal the heartache too. Okay. So now we're going to jump over here to hummingbird music. Lives through others. So on the energy, the universe, the planets and retrograde and stuff are going to bring shit up. And they say that you're going to have to deal with the fact that you live through others. And when you try to exert who you are and live yourself, you're going to get people that are going to just give you cues how to behave, how to do this, what's the right, what's that. And all of a sudden, it's an automatic response that's going to cause you to just, and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this? I know. But you live through others. And then sometimes oh, wow. I feel like you're sitting back and going, hey, man, I'll have to just live through you because, for whatever reason. But I hear you. Hey, man, so you just, and now all of a sudden it goes into nothingness. But then I hear music, and then I hear, so you check out. But then you're doing your thing, and then somebody don't like it. So that's interesting. You're doing something that somebody don't like, and they let you know. So then you get up, and you have to put down your stuff and do what they ask. What else? Oh, it creates this repulsion. Yes, I love them. Oh, God, I can't tolerate it anymore. So you can only take them with a grain of salt. So then all of a sudden you have this repulsion. And part of you gets, I don't want to say sick, but if you don't want to go into a certain area, you will literally get an upset stomach or you'll get gas or something. And your body will say, are we really doing this again? I don't think so. Oh, okay. So that's how we're going to do, or that's that. Go over to, oh God, I already did Keisha. Kelly Jones Cates. Oh, wow. There's a lot of, I'm blowing up. There's a lot of gas. There's a lot of, you're welcome, Hummingbird. There's a lot of what? Food issues. Okay. So when you eat certain things, you're not compatible So are you doing complete repulsion? No, your body says, I don't like certain things. So then the body creates an intolerance to it. So it's not like, yeah, okay. I mean, literally, I'm like a hot air balloon. What? I don't know what these are. These look like words. They're floating. I've never seen this. Thoughts. They're thoughts. They're somebody's thoughts. Do you read people's thoughts? You can imagine what they're thinking, which is different than reading, just to let you know. But you're imagining the worst, which causes you to have what? Where? In the stomach. And this, what's interesting, they say this, the stench or the stank that comes from self-centered people. I don't even know if you're aware, but your body's like going, oh. And so you can kind of, oh, yeah. But it literally does what? It changes the energy in the inside. So you have to become aware that there's an incongruency. So if you like looking at people or guessing, or you have to be around them, understand your body's going, literally, can we just find a new environment or new things to think about? So planet's going to bring your shit up. Sarah Bailey, you're not that late. You're good. Sherry Hunt. Carter, I don't understand that. Career. I got you now. Career. What you just said? The relationship cards to the career. Oh, okay. Usually don't use cards for relationships, but our relationships, whatever. The point is, you know what I mean. All right. Oh, hold on. Oh, well, okay. How many do you want? Just these two? These three. Okay. You have to release the stuff you don't like about your job, because this says release the X. So if your X is involved in your job, you're going to have to release the X, and you're going to need to release the things you don't like about your job. And they said that you deserve love. Okay. Which means if you don't begin to love what you do, then it's going to come back and bite you in the ass, because it's going to be resentment, unrequited love. So you feel whatever you want to do doesn't love you back, but yet you love doing it. And let's say you like crocheting and stuff like that, and then you want to start a business, but then all of a sudden the thing you love, you don't like to do. Okay, so so don't do the home-based career whatever it is. Think about it a little bit more, because if you're going to get tired of doing something, then that's not the career you want to do. Best thing to do is, number one, find your value. Is it important to you? If your career, if this job of babysitting isn't important to you, then no. But if kids are important to you, maybe you need to take the babysitting job so you can find out how to handle kids from a different perspective. And then let's say all of a sudden you move from that job to another job. Now, here I said job because you're going to go to career. You're going to have to probably build up to get enough perspective on whatever it is you want to do, because when you finally get that career, you're going to be so well-rounded in that subject. You're going to be a restaurant owner, then you need to know how to be an employee. You need to know how to make the food. You need to know how to sell it. So looking at all these things, just don't, so whatever's important to you, and then go after it. Okay. And then whatever they put you in, learn it, graduate, go to the next thing until you get enough of those perspectives. Delinda Hayes. Don't want to forget you. You're over here, and then I'll go back to here. Delinda. You too? Is there a... All of a sudden, I feel very stuffed. Who? What? Where? You're pointing at three things. Attack, lofty. People are lofty. You have a what? So when energy's in the space and that person is acting lofty, that causes you to match them, and you start to feel lofty. There's a part of you that does not want to become that, but yet you feel that energy attacking. So sometimes you have a problem of being in that space. And so when they change their energies, you kind of match it without realizing it, and then you start behaving and they do it, and that just makes you upset. Okay, got it. When you start to do those energies, taking people on, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start connecting heaven and earth. Rub your hands together, and the way my hands bend back, I'm going to look up. I'm going to look my head that way. This one's going to go down. Okay, that, at least 8 times, 4 on each side. The other one is you take and you rub your hands together and you bring your elbows together and you make a figure 8, okay? And then you sweep out. You need to do it at this point. You do it at the solar plexus, the hips, knees, and the ankles. And then finger in the forehead and the belly button, push in and lift up. And you hold it for a good 2 minutes, especially if you're so open to picking people up. This is going to create your egg. Now you pushed them out and you're creating your egg to be stronger. Okay. And then you're going to become more aware when that energy stops. And then you need to do it again. All right. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? Oh, it's not good, Hummingbird. Okay. So here's the thing. You can be friends with me through Messenger or the messaging thing on the YouTube. So if you ever leave after the videos are done and you go and leave a comment, I can, as long as we're friends in that, and I don't know who you are, but by that name, but we're friends in messaging, I can give you a card. So anytime you leave a comment, it'll say, Hummingbird left a card or left a message, then I can go and give you a card. I give everybody a card that hits on Facebook, that hits like or likes it, and then they share. Now over here, they're saying that even when you subscribe, I can see that you subscribe as long as we're friends in the messaging thing. And then you tell me who, I can give you that. But if you don't, and if you go by that name, become friends with me on Facebook and then tell me that and I can get your card that way. Sarah Bailey. I just got hit in the head, which means I probably went unconscious or not a coma. You just went unconscious. And then what happened when you were in that state is that you can't do separation. So everything's the same. The sight, the sounds, everything's the same. And one of the things you picked up, you're from the chakra area, is the 6, front, back. You can't use your will to control what? Other people's shit. So what does that mean? That means when you're in that state, you had a self-dialogue, which is made up of what people said. So some of the things that you tell yourself is made up from that time you got when you heard the conversation with the people around you. Really? Yes, and it affects your positive thinking. How interesting. And it's and it came with an energy field of somebody being lofty and snarky. So then all of a sudden, there's a part of you that doesn't feel right. Now all of a sudden my jaw hurts. It's like a loss of power as well. And you go through this whole physical symptoms up to awkwardness. And my mouth is now dry, so you must get stressed. That's interesting. Yeah, you definitely need to pull that out, but I don't know how to. I know how to do it, but it's too hard to tell you this right now. EFT it out is probably the quickest way for you to try to figure it out. Do you want one, David? Is that really true? You know the rules. You say yes, please. See, I scrolled down and there's another yes, please. Okay, David. And then we'll do Jen and then we'll come back. So David. All right. So the insurance company, you go into the right side of your brain up in the visual and you visually construct. And so that means you run to the end of your timeline and then you bitch about it. Oops. But but you do that because that is a coping tool. But your soul is saying it doesn't want that as a habit. So the planets are going to actually kick your ass about it, and then life will just seem harder. So what really is happening is that you don't want to go into panic. So you have that coping tool. So you don't want to go into panic. And then you go into what's the right and what's the wrong, what's the right and what's the wrong. It's like, I can't make the decision. And you're not being true to yourself. You're living somebody else's life at this point, even though you may have built up and you have all these family and friends and things like this. But that's not your life anymore. You're moving and you haven't figured out how to move. You keep going backwards and in circles and lateral, sideways. You haven't really moved forward because that means you might have to do a major switch up in your life. I know path switch, they may not seem fun, but once you get to the end, the happiest you're ever going to be. Trust me. Work through your shit and get to where you need to go because you're going to be very happy when you do finally achieve that. But otherwise, heal panic because panic is the thing that you're trying to avoid. Jennifer Osika. Did I just give you one? No. Not odd. Why did they say that? Because people are saying they've done something and they haven't done it. Who called you a naughty person? Did you call yourself a naughty person? Yes, I see you completely busy. What is that? You're following your kids around. I get that. But why are you not talking here? What do you need help on? Oh, so is your excuses and your reasonings are stopping you from actually moving where you need to be going because they say that you do self-abuse. You abuse yourself with denigrating thoughts from time to time because part of you hears that you think that their criticism is correct. So you must have over time believed it. Oh, you got a reading from somebody. It's not been setting right either. They said something that I don't think you can also, I don't want to say it. It's like not eating away at you. Anyways, I don't think it was a very good, something make it, it's really bothering me. It's really bothering you. And you can't stop helping to mimic the people in the room, which means you pick up their shit. Oh, you're becoming more of an empath, huh? Then you need to do Celtic weave, connecting heaven and earth, and doing your hookup because you really don't need to pick these people up. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Now we'll go over here. Trina. Trina, she says, good morning. We got Toya. We did that. Casey Hester. Okay, about you moving. What's funny is I don't hear it's right away. Give it a year, which means it's like you're being forced to think you have to move, but somehow the universe is trying to, so you have a little chaos going on. Why is there chaos before the move? Because there's not really been a set intention. Okay, so it's like when you get a GPS and you don't put the instructions, but you expect it to tell you where you're going. Because in this case, if you were to say, okay, let's say we have to move, and then it'll be just like, let's say you don't like peanut butter. And I said, oh, well, eat peanut butter. You're like, no. Okay, fine. Have bologna. No. So you're finding the things you don't want. And you will narrow down areas. No. Oh, wait, this one is a good area. So you're learning the different aspects. And they said, once you start to set the GPS, then you will be moving quite quickly. Are you going to be moving out of state? It looks like you're trying to move out of state. Not talking about mental state. Okay, you're talking about state. So there's a part of you that does, but if you focus, communicate, it'll change. And it could be within 2 months. things could occur. But right, I see the little blocks here and there, which can cause you to stop you from going in the direction you need or want. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's done. That's done. That done. Okay. I'm not using my energy on you. Spirits come and tell me things, and your energy just your shit hangs out, and it just people stumble over it. That's what I pick up. It's the chords. Jessica, okay, yeah. How many? One habit. One habit you need to address. What's the habit about? It's about the personality. You give yourself a set of instructions. What is all this pink? You're convincing yourself you have to love something that you don't like. Oh, that's the instructions. What chakra? So from the family unit. Okay. And then you have anxiety because you're under pressure to be this person when you haven't really discovered who this person is, but you need to, because this meat suit person, you, needs to go. And so have you squashed your intuition? No. Have you leaned more towards rational, that it interferes with your intuition, your ability? So you're leaning more to the yang energy of, I have to be more rational, I have to behave this way. Whereas your intuition says, no, you don't. But it gets very confusing because you're not sure what you're really listening to. So I'd say start to heal out fear, start to heal out negative emotions, because those blocks and those issues are literally stop you from moving, get away from that under pressure that you don't need to be in. Oh, Angela, you just send a payment anytime you want. I'll check to see if you did, because I just stopped the readings and then I do the 11. Over here is pick or kick. We're going to go here real quick. Compatibility. Food, friends, family, environment, people, with yourself. You're not being compatible with yourself. So are you being incongruent with your heart and your mind? So does your heart want one thing and your mind says another? Interesting. I'm not sure why there's a rose. I want to bite on a rose. And I'm smiling. I don't know what that means. Reminds me of an icon, or what do we call those things? Where? Panic? Oh, are you trying to say that's like a love life? Oh, heart and mind. So your heart wants to fall in love, but your mind says no. Why? Because there's a program that says, I can't be that. Are you going against your, I'm just going to say it in my head. No. Are you, no, you can't, there's a part of you that knows that they're good. And then there's a part of you that don't trust yourself, don't trust them. So you're attracted to, and yet so you're arguing, big argument with yourself. Oh, that makes sense. What are you to do? Well, you're wrestling right now what's right and wrong. The thing is what's important to you. And you'll end up finding out what's important to you. If you're only doing it because what's important for them or important for other people, then you're going to create a resentment in yourself. So find out what's important to you so that you understand your values. Thank you for the rose. Let's see. I cannot see. No, I didn't even see you say yes, please, but to the Miss Marie. So Angela Allen, I can do that. I didn't see anywhere it says yes, please. Okay, Angela Allen. We'll go there. Oh, my head. I'm just so super tired, as if I'm zapped. Electromagnetic frequencies, the earth ungrounded, spirit in the body. The spirit is in the body. There's something disconnected. Is the brain disconnected from something? Yes. Is the brain disconnected from the heart? Yes. Is the brain disconnected from anything other organ glands? No, just from the heart. Is the heart connected to the brain? So you have a disconnect. And what I would do for you is you take a magnet, okay, and you say, I connect my brain to my heart. I connect my brain to my heart, and I connect my brain to my heart. Do that, I would say, 3 times. And if you don't feel like it's correct, just do it a little bit more. And then it'll start to balance out. So your etheric party, you said it can be hooked up. No problem. It's good. The reason for the disconnect is because of the story that you tell yourself. Are the instructions? No, they tell yourself about how bad you are, that you may have hurt somebody. So, like for instance, if you are feeling that you're bad, that you've done something, and you keep you don't want to feel that. So basically, you're hurting yourself. You may want to look at that a little deeper. That's the best feeling, when you just go from one to the next and then fades off. Daniel Thomas, did I see a yes, please? I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did. Georgina Sturt, hi, Brenda. Not sure if I have the comment. What's the word? No, yeah, maybe new, but normally you just say yes, please, so that I can see where I'm supposed to go. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go to Daniel Thomas, because I have a feeling you want to read anyway, and then we'll do Georgina and go from there. So Daniela, Thomas. There's a song, Please Believe Me, Let Me Go. And then there's the song Arms. Something about, when I'm with you, I am home. What is all this music? It's like down low, and it's in the distance. And what? It's so music affects you in a good way? No, sometimes when it's low and down. So something happened when you were younger, and that is connected to what? Feeling that something is invading you. Oh my God. So are you saying that about 7 years old, I'm seeing that you didn't understand what was going on? You're kind of waking up, certain song was on, and there was a part of you that made you freak out. Okay, so in between that state, so you may be scared of the other side. You're scared of bad, evil things or something. I would tap that out, because fear, fear just attracts you. To get rid of the fear, you got to tap it out, change it. It'll really change everything else. Oh, yeah, because it makes you want to go into a little panic, phobia. I think you watched, were you exposed to scary movies, or you like them or something? But either way, you got to get it out of the body's consciousness. It's stuck there. Georgina Stewart. To my left. What? I hear music. All of a sudden I heard it said to my left into the music. So my soul likes to dance, and it feels good. I just haven't felt the connection. So I feel kind of down and out. So something disconnected? Lost your motivation? So you can't find something important to yourself? What is it? So the energies of the body. So you're married to or with somebody or somebody that's lofty. So you can't really be who you are or listens to who you are or what you want. Something has changed, so you can't do something. It's like a sigh. I can't really. Either way, it's not healthy because so have you reserved to doing this as an automatic? It was a choice, but this choice was made when you were 4 years old that you had to be quiet. Shh, quiet. And now, because you had been trained so much that when now you're in a situation where you're sharing space with somebody and now it's an auto response that you have to be quiet. You can change that habit. You can heal that habit. You can move forward. Okay, so Jazz E. Lee. I don't understand how I said that wrong. So you have to develop something. You haven't been exposed to enough information, and so you haven't really developed that part of yourself. Is this about travel? Education, school, relationships? Kind of give me a clue would be great. So are you developing your genetic family history? You need to learn something. Is it a culture? No, not quite. You just need to learn something. You have arrested development. Is it passed on? No. You need to develop more information about your family. Why? Just for shits and giggles? Really? Okay, so they're saying that you haven't really developed that part of yourself that you may need to. Wow, I feel like you're all of a sudden awkward. It's like you want to go talk to grandma about something and you can't because it's awkward feeling. How do I say that? Yeah, it's an awkward, pointing right back to awkward again. So you're not able to really be yourself, ask the questions you want, do what you need to do because it's there's something about stunted and you can't do it. Okay. Good morning. Oh, shoot, man. See, I got like 116 comments and I'm going in a row. So Daniela, you said needed to work on my fight and flight. Please, I want to see. So you're going in the right direction with your fight and flight? Yes. It's a calming down? Yes. So have you, are you in digest and rest right now? Yes. So you're doing better. So whatever you're doing, do more of that, like the breathing and other stuff. And there's something about you need to de-stress yourself. One more thing about obsession. So curb your thinking. Tap it out. Change it. Oh, good. I get to read everybody's things when I get done. So we'll go right to Rosemary Wynn and then to Amy. Rosemary, deficient. What are you deficient in? So there's a certain amount of healthy ego, like praise, recognition, love. And it's like, I feel like your ego has taken a beating and you're deficient in allowing yourself to receive that reciprocity from people. So when they say, oh, good job, you don't keep it. You don't know how to handle it. And so you then, it causes the energy to be cut off. So then you're giving more than you're taking. And you're not supposed to just take, but receive. But if you're taught that you're taking, or it's wrong, you need to correct those, because you have to balance that energy. Otherwise, it creates unhealthy karma. Okay, because if you're creating limitations to receive, then you're going to create karma, and you're going to have to create a lesson to learn, and then you'll have more people that are just going to take from you. So you have to really look at how that vibration is. And in certain people, you can take stuff from, and certain people you don't need to. But you have to learn to get over what in order to do it? The indifference. They said the feeling of indifference literally causes you not to be able to receive. So the indifference feeling, I would EFT that out. And like I said, any of these people, they can, at any point. Okay. All right. So now let's go to Amy Lopez. I hear an old cantankerous old woman. She's behind me, and she's being cantankerous. I don't even know what that word means, but she's being cantankerous anyway. She's got this lofty energy. No, you should be doing it. I mean, my finger, if it could grow longer, it'd be definitely pull a muscle. Certain gestures like that just put you in a panic, because, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And repulsion, physically, mentally, emotionally. So then you're emotionally repulsed. What does that mean? It means that you can't receive love. Oh, you have that too. Well, not the same thing, but why? Because that love they give you is actually disdain. So you're learning the difference between loves. And so the kind of love they're giving is very painful. Why the hell would you want to take? That's just about an argument that I had just a couple days ago. It's like if that's the love you want to give me, yeah, keep it, because that's not love. It's like, please don't pray for me if you're just going to tell me to go to hell. Please don't, because it causes you to want to go in hysterics. And if you don't act a certain way, then they get more cantankerous, if that makes any sense. And why do I want to itch? All of a sudden, all this, I just want to itch. That's your lymphatic system. So your immune system's a little bit feels like it's a threatening thing. Oh wow, it's going right up to the ear. Okay, I'm just gonna separate that energy. Miss Pam Takel. Who does? She does? They're saying they need you to address the word contempt, and all the other different words that go with it, like disgrace and stuff like that, because there's a habit that you sit back and you're just, it's like, humph. It's the very, how do you want to put it? Your intuition helps you out, and all of a sudden that school teacher part of you, somebody at school, there's something. But anyways, I saw way back when you picked this picture up, and somehow I feel like that filter is affecting your world now. And then the reaction you learned when you were in school, and she was a teacher. So it somehow still is affecting you in the now. Is it just in the pictures? No, it's in the sound. That's why it went right back to the ear from Amy to her. Oh, so, okay, well, being that it's on my left side, that must mean that you remember certain sounds, whether it's tone, tenacity, or timbre, or cadence, Yeah, I would definitely, if you hear certain things that bother you, I would do ear accessing, which is you cover up one ear, get the number and go, yeah, it's a 10. And then you let it go and switch, listen to everything through this ear, hear the number, and then let it go and switch, and keep going back and forth, and to focusing all of your attention until all of a sudden it gets down to 0. Done. All right, so we'll go to Nikki Loops. Jesus, what was that? Some negative energies seem to be attacking. No, they're there. So is this something you're No, this is how I feel every day. Is this anger? So at 2 years old, did you take something on? Somebody told me I wasn't loved. And then I put up a wall ever since. Wow. Okay. It's a habit now. So it's like you want to get close all of a sudden, but this thing that happened at 2, you're just like, and your body's consciousness is going to do it. Not here. Your body, it's going to be an automatic response. It makes you just like, oh, fine, fuck it. And then you have to live through other people's, what are we going to do tonight? I don't know. Whatever you want. It's like it creates this response that you don't even know you may be doing. It's like when people roll their eyes, did I even roll my eyes right? But anyways, the point is that there's an automatic response. I don't even know if you even know. But is that a hidden heart wall? Yeah. So I would then take and get a magnet. And then I would say hidden heart wall. And then the emotion that you want to pull out would be rejection. So you go hidden heart wall, rejection. For you, I do it 10 times because that connect. Wow. And then you have to rejection. Okay. Just keep doing that. Hidden heart wall, rejection. And you need to tap out how that really bothers you. I mean, you can feel it. You can look at it. You stare at it. You can taste it. You just tap it out. Get it out. You don't need it. Carla, Mayor Payne, Manar Payne. Yeah. So people called you vain because you're doing something like you love selfies or you love art or you love something to do with paying attention to you. And they are there's a wrong definition there. You can love yourself and you can take care of yourself and you can do the self-care. And if you're talking to people that are old school and they're having that old definition, then it's going to mess you up because it's not. I don't think you're doing the same thing they're saying or accusing you of. So then you go in and then you start denigrating yourself. And then you're getting back into that old negative feeling that you can't do this or you're not pretty enough or, you know what I mean? It's just, you know the difference of where they're coming from, because in this day and age, taking a selfie actually begins to let you love yourself. Now, learn the difference between when somebody's that vain. Are you a narcissist with it? Just to let you know. You may have to. No, you not may have to. You decide. It's your choice. Because you feel that the moment you try to be who you are, you're bullied into being something else. And that's not healthy. Live and be who you are. Emberly. Amy Emberly. Emberly is tied in the gender in a matrix. This matrix is the gender. It's the female male. So it's in the female's role. She's going to have to live all to the connotations that a female has to, be weak and then, her feelings are not supposed to be felt. And, she may not be good enough. And if I can't do it, you can't. So then she'll have to probably step back and let a man do it. Do you understand? Look at the gender roles. And that is what's going to happen. It's going to, it changes who you are. It creates and dictates a different behavior. So she's getting locked into those roles. She's also, so because she's a baby, she gets passed around. There's this reproach. Some people are like, well, I don't want her. Literally, she can pick that up. She's such a kinesthetic child. She feels their thinking and their feeling and their behavior. And it really, so it's a reproach. She's kind of scared to go to people because she doesn't want that feeling. Even if the person she goes to is nice, that last person left a bad taste in their mouth, if that makes sense. Okay. That's not the button, Brenda. Wendy Bennett. Depression. It's getting very toxic. What? Disapproval. What did I do wrong? And you're stuck in a feeling of ambivalence, sadness. What? Just uncertainty. So then there's a feeling of nothingness. Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. So how we want you to get out of it when your brain does certain things is that it's very important that you begin to understand that you're made of energy. And because you're made of energy, all right. So this point right here between your toes, you follow it up, soft, 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 and you feel how the two bones come together, and you got it on 2 feet. That's the liver point. You need to rub it. It might hurt like hell, but you need to rub that so it moves the toxins. Okay. Your triple warm is going off like apeshit crazy, which means it's like sending in the army. It's high alert. It's not calming down. And we got to get you to get it calmed down. And I'm looking. There it is. I think that's the one we want. Is that the one? Do you want to do that one? Just that one? How about the triple? Okay. So on the back of your hand, I can actually show that here. Both hands, both wrists. But what you're going to do is that you find where it bends. Okay. You're going to go 3 fingers. The 4th finger is where that point is. And you're going to rub it. Now, it probably is going to be sore. But you're going to rub it. Good 30 times. The other one you're going to do is you're going to hand here, other hand here. This is called the triple warmer smoothie, and you're going to hold yourself. It's kind of like, and because you're covering up the meridian points, you're just going to breathe for about 2 minutes and then switch. And what will cause you to start to calm things down. Second thing you need to do is to take a deep breath in, let it all out, hold your breath. Let the air in, let it all out, hold your breath. It will switch so that the brain can balance. And then you're going to need to look up Wayne Cook posture to unscramble that brain. I don't know if it's for you or for somebody you know, but it needs to be taken care of. Karen Stone Castle. Karen Stone Castle. Something like that. Control what? You're trying, need to. So you're being very discouraged. And you become very self-conscious and very discouraged. Oh, I'm just pulling straight in. So it creates a low self-esteem. And you're telling me this because you remember something. And you remember something at 3 years of age. Now, doesn't mean you have to consciously remember. Your body's consciousness runs all the programs. But the self-consciousness, you really think people are staring at you. You think it's the other side? People? You feel like somebody's going to tattle on you. You feel like it's just lurking. It's there. It's going to say something. All right, that eerie feeling needs to go because it's just remembering something that had happened. And then you expected that person to be there for you and they weren't. Now you can see a little bit more. So you have a lot of that pain going on as well. And then there's a lot of disdain that happens from you, from them. They expected you to be there. Ooh, take that twist just for a second. If you are self-conscious because they expected you to be there for them and you weren't, No wonder you have all this other stuff going on. So what would you heal out? The things that you get obsessed about. All right, I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit because I'm seeing a bunch of names the same. All right, let's go down. I just seen a name, Louise Mercer. Lack of control. You, them. You are around people that have a lack of control. They have potty mouths. No, they're not subtle at all. Oh, and whose stories? Theirs? Yours? It's a story that you tell yourself. Okay, why is there two different stories here? Okay, so you have the story that you tell yourself, and then it's the stories they say. Oh, so it's about how people are viewing it, and it's about how. So both are correct and both are wrong, because everybody remembers certain details, and not everybody's going to remember the exact same, but it creates controversy. So it is to do with the ego of I'm right instead of being nice. Are you locked in a battle? Oh, sometimes you just can't argue with stupid. Okay, you don't need to go down to their level. And you don't need to worry, because believe me, people will meet up with the people they're supposed to meet up with, and people of all kinds will find each other in one way or the other. So you just have to trust that path of that person's soul will take them to where they need to go. Whoever it is, they need to begin to live their life. No, I didn't skip you. Angela Harris, I swear to God, I had given you one. If I go through the show and I haven't, then I will give you one. Remember, I'm going in order. Missy Delgetti. Where are you going? It's completely not even on landing on anything. You're deprived. So you can't get in alignment with anything. And so it's the hit and misses, because you have a program of being deprived. Is that yours? Did you get it inside the womb at birth? No, at 2 years old. You lived being deprived. Food? Shelter? Were you homeless? What's the memory? It's the internal dialogue. So you're not a burden on somebody. Then you say, okay, you can take less than. So now years have gone by, and you've convinced yourself. It's like when I first got here, I didn't have any friends, so why get a cell phone? So I convinced myself not to get a cell phone. And I still don't have a cell phone. Now I got friends. But it's that habit that's happening. And then, so whoever the mood of the situation is with the person, then all of a sudden you'll adapt, and then you'll deprive yourself. And then you're like, there's not enough food going around. Oh, that's okay. But your body is saying that it doesn't want to be deprived anymore, because it's starting to store. You could cause eating issues, is last part of what I heard. Oh, what do you want, Spirit? If half these people here, I'm going to have to go down a little bit. Wow. Okay. So now where is it? What happened to the thing? It's stuck. The thing's screwed up. Okay. Who hasn't gotten a read? Say, yes, please. That's going to help me. Now, I'm not going to go too much longer, but that when you say yes, please, then I'll do a 1.5 read. Okay. So over here, *1. Now, *1. If you want to be friends in the YouTube messaging thing, so that when you leave a comment or you subscribe or whatever, I can give you a card. And that way we can stay connected that way. Okay. *1. Invading energies, emotions, thoughts, bombarded by people's belief system. So you have belief. Okay, so people's belief systems. Are you aware that they've been bugging you? Yes. You can't seem to get them out. So are they in the energy field? But do you believe them? No, you just know it bothers you. Okay. I would definitely say that you have to separate those energies, because those energies come in and they cause you to go into defense, and you're like, you walking along and you get defensive, and you like, what happened? Okay. And then you get discouraged and you think it's your stuff, and it's not. So you're picking people up. Okay. Now, Star, if I don't know who you are here and we don't become friends on YouTube, I can't give you a card. So you'll have to come over to Facebook and let me know who you are so I can give you a card. But if we become whatever it is, friend. Okay, Star, what you need to do is you got to separate. You got to get these people off of your energy is like a magnet. You don't need them. And it gets your body's getting very confused about who's who. Okay. First thing you need to do is you need to practice every day. Finger in the belly button and the forehead, push in and lift up, and keep it there for a good 2 minutes. You need to practice this a couple times a day, especially if you're going to work, if you're whatever you enter, going into work. You need to build that energy. Now, kick the people out, and that is you do connecting heaven and earth. Rub your hands together, and as I bend my hands back, as I look up with my hand that goes up, and this one goes down. So you go, bring it together. You do that several times, like 4 on each side, with a nice breath and intention and pushing, and literally it starts to pull the people off. The other one would be figure eights. Okay, our elbows together, arms out like this. Big sweeps, big sweeps. You do it here, you do it at third, at the hips, at the knees, and at the ankles, and you'll be surprised. You're going to probably have to fluff your energy, which means you're going to have to pick up and roll your aura. Okay? Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Jody, oh, wait. What did it do? Jump when I wasn't looking? Where'd it go? Stop. There it is. Jay Fernley. Fear. No, you got there. Fear in the name. Pitch in the head. So it's setting the GPS. And what is going on with these pictures? These pictures of distrust. Distrusting people, time, places, maybe areas. It's like you drive, distrust areas. But then it applies to the energies of people, So you distrust. So there's a distrust that was developed at 3 years old, which is still running the show. So your 3-year-old is running the show. So you can't really connect because that body consciousness is saying that you have distrust. You need to break that strategy, disrupt that program, because the people that you need to trust, you won't trust. And the people that you distrust, you're trusting. It's a little bit backwards, but you need to change that, okay? So I would EFT that out. Like I said, any of you can make an appointment. Deficient. What are you deficient on? Deficient on knowing the difference? No. Deficient on sharing. So the ability to socially share You want to share too much, not share enough, not share the right thing. So bonding, no, it's just there's different levels of sharing. Shut off. You share your time, but they don't know how to share their time, and therefore it gets very confusing. Okay. Jody Ricca, Ricca. Where are you going? Self-centered. A man or woman or both people, all family. Okay, it goes right to the body. It's like instantaneously you know who all the self-centered people are because you can feel it. You can feel it. It feels gross. You feel it. That's all there is to it. You feel it. And you go into reaction and you don't even know you're doing it. So you have an automatic response and you go into reaction. The reaction mode you go into happens to be obsessing. And you won't know it because all of a sudden the emotion of obsessing will cause you to start obsessing whatever it is you're doing, and you'll start obsessing the things. You got to correct it. You got to correct it. You got to correct it. So there's a little bit of OCD feeling that you have to do there, but you feel in your body and you can't get it out. You need to get it out. They keep telling me it's just stuck. You can get it out. You don't need it there. I'm good at helping people get it out, but you can try to do it with EFT and stuff like this. And you can feel something's in your aura, and you're like, ew. And it's literally is a lofty feeling of other people's shit on you. Okay, you really need to get that out. So focus on the feeling, and EFT it. Even though I can feel that feeling, once you address it and change it, tap it out, it will literally start to change. And then do what I just told that other person to do. I swear I already did some of these people's names. I don't even know how to say it. Inese, Sonatica. Okay. Self-conscious. Right and wrong. They want you to deal with right and wrong. They want you to look at how other people's right and wrong are interfering with your life and how you have to live by other people's right and wrong. But if you had your right and wrong, they wouldn't live the way you would. So it is everybody changes the rules on you, literally starts fucking with your thinking, and you're like, well, understand there's a general right and wrong. Don't kill anybody. Be nice. But it is starting to find out what's right for you, what's wrong for you, what's not, and starting to look at you. You're the one that lives in this meat suit. You're the one that chose this, and you need to begin to discover more of you. Yes, fear of being alone if you did that. Well, you have to decide that if that's what they're going to do, what do you call that a relationship for? You need to attract the ones that are actually going to stay with you, because there's people out there, and people, all kinds of people will, you can be attracted to. So if you're going to attract negative people, you're going to do that. You can attract people that are love, that are like-minded. Find people that have something in common with you. And the more that you love what you do, the more you're going to attract to people, and you're going to be able to be more of who you are. Just notice your habit of that. I have to always do this. I have to do this, right or wrong. You need to change a little bit of that. Karen Ann Smith. Husband. Okay. Story. What about your story? Sometimes I just spin out of control. And as time goes by, the story changes, but the pain hasn't. No matter how much pain that you have, You just can't let go of the story and the pain, the story and the pain. They say, someone over here says, you have to let it go. But you're panicked. This is who you are. This is my identity. If I let this go, then who am I going to be? What am I going to be? And I'll lose you forever. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm going to tell you one thing. If somebody you know died and you have all of this going on, you're not going to be able to hear them. You're not going to be able to enjoy the memories. You're not going to remember the wonderful stuff. You get rid of the pain and the panic, and what will happen is when you stop having that identity, you're going to be able to hear and feel the love and join this nature of thriving and knowing that you can commune. You know, you might find a feather on the ground. You may find little wonderful things, but you won't be bawling your ass off and going into a panic attack. You'll go into, oh my God, that was a beautiful feeling. You get to feel love differently, and you get to communicate love differently. Trust me. Oh, stupid thing. See you later, David. He's probably already gone now. I'm not even sure how to say that. Jose Naga Tempe? Jose. What are you tired of? You have invading energies too. Other people's? Environment, low, high. What are the invading energies you trying to say? Other side? The part of your body is open up to some energies, and so what it is like if you have a cell phone there, also you have magnetically differenced. Okay, so you have a magnetic deficiency, which means mobile phones, stuff like that, is just going to affect you. They don't have to, but they do because of the magnetic deficiency. You may have aches and pains in certain areas that you can't get rid of. That's because the electromagnetic in your body, the magnetic part, is deficient in that area. Take magnets to put it on certain places of your body, or put it at the soles of your feet. Try rings on your fingers. Is it certain areas? It just throws me off. It goes to the right side is off. So put it in your shoes, magnetics in your shoes, because or magnetic in your hip pocket. You got to stop being magnetically deficient, because it does affect the physical body. Lolita Torres, the thing is that to be on the right track of your purpose, number one, are you in your purpose right now? Yes, but you've got to understand your values to do your purpose. Values are a container for your purposes. What is important to you becomes the question. If you can't answer that, then the energies of the universe are not going to be able to line up the purpose properly. What's important to me? And if doing something is very important to you, then you have to ask, what do I need to do right now to get there? And if it means you have to do shitty ass things until you can get there, then each of those shitty ass things are going to be perspectives and stepping stones to that particular purpose. So by the time you get to doing certain things of your purpose, you'll be doing your purpose. You won't even know it, but you will become a professional at it. But you can't just jump in and be a professional at something if you don't know what it is. So you got to get your heart and your mind very congruent, so the universe and you can develop this purpose to do it in the direction and with joy. The chakra that'll interfere will be your first chakra, because you're going to be so devoted to family. Now, the question is are they devoted to you? If you have family values and that nobody else lives up to but you got to restate, is the family values are, is that important to you the way that they do? But if they're always telling you how to live and you can't ever be yourself, you may want to change that. You need to look at that. Christina Arnold. for Arnold Ryan. If you told me more of the rough times, I could really guide it to it. I'll just say, okay, we're going to say, Spirit, you know what, Christina, what her rough time is. Why is her soul doing that? Her soul wants her to let go of how she was scorned as a child. The pain of being scorned literally causes an arrested development to be strong to where she needs to be today. So there's a pattern that keeps repeating itself over and over and over. And when that doesn't, it keeps repeating the shit that's happening right now. And the rough time that is that she can feel, because of the scornness, she can feel how their power is exerted on her, and she don't know how to handle it. She literally, she goes into that little girl self, and that's what it happens. So scorn, I would say, even though I was scorned, and you look at the feeling of the scorn, you feel where it's stored, and you listen to the words, and you get the beginning, the middle, the end of it, and you tap it out, get rid of it. You don't need to hold on to that pain, because it's literally stopping you, and it's drawing to you hell. You don't need that. And the retrogrades are just going to make it worse. Okay? This needs to be addressed. What else? And you have to also tap out how people are lofty and that energy they have over exertion, because you can't take the picture out. You get those kind of together. So you need to get all that out, tap it out, do whatever, or make an appointment with me. Done that person. Okay, I'm going to have to do just a couple more because I got to go because my husband is home from work and it's after, well, it's about 20 after 11. LaRonda. Oh my God, I'm going to sneeze. Is this hers? No, it's the next person. Leanne Bell. Well, we're doing LaRonda. Okay, this must be part of the retrograde. The pattern of invading energy. Okay, so if you have come across an issue and you have chaos because of these retrogrades, they're asking you to go internal. They're asking you to take the time and just release a lot of this negative stuff. And apparently, from what I can gather, is that people have been picking up other people's shit because it's because of your little selves. You had no control, and now you have no control again. Everybody needs to understand this. If you pick people up, or if you resonate and you have to become like them, you need to make that stop, because your thoughts are going to go crazy. Your physical health will go crazy because your immune system is saying, oh, that's not me. That's not me. And then start attacking, and it ends up just attacking you because it doesn't know how to attack an emotion. Separating heaven and earth. Okay, people? Do this a couple times, 4 times on each side or more. Get that air going. And then figure 8. Oh my God. Doing this figure 8s here, and then doing it crossing at the solar plexus, at the hips, at the knees, and the ankles. Last but not least, finger in the belly button and the forehead, and push and lift up. And literally just hold it so that the energies around your body can protect you, so you don't have to absorb everybody. I mean, this is deep. Leanne Bell Thompson. I have to go soon. Okay. Right and wrong. And that must be the other thing with this retrograde. Right and wrong. We're going back to right and wrong. When you begin to wake up from this, the hardest part is, oh my God, that's wrong. That's evil. That's bad. But you got to start beginning to notice, is the right and wrong the same for every individual? You're going to hear that maybe some have the same. Most of the times they have it different. And you are trying to figure out how to live in a world about rewards and punishment. And the more that you live outside yourself, the more you can't be you, the more you can't allow yourself to be you, and the more that you're going to correct yourself to be something other, so that when you get older, you're going to have a middle-age crisis, or you're going to get older and then you're going to have so much regret. Begin to notice that you got to start living and doing self-care, and you got to learn how to, what do I like? What do I think is important? Not my mother, not my boyfriend, not what do I think is important? Okay, you need to not go to extremes. You just need to start finding your third option. What is important to me? Because they're just screaming that you are caught in this, whatever it's called. Okay. Last person. Yes, last person. And that is Amy Kitchener. So the last person, Amy Kitchener. And then I got to go. And then I'm here Mondays and Tuesdays. Everybody can make a private appointment reading, and it's not that expensive. You just go to services on my fan page, like my fan page, so you know when these are happening. Ready? Oh, you can't help but become defensive. Take it personal. People bitch at you because you do that. That hurts worse than you being defensive. But at the same time, you can really understand that you have to take offense to that, because you're allowing to be treated that way. And by not saying anything, you're teaching them how to control you, teach you, treat you. And yet it keeps happening. And then as part of the role that you're supposed to be submissive. And then you try to take and bring in yang to be more aggressive. And then it becomes very much of a cycle, because you haven't stopped learning how to be submissive. And that's the old connotation of feminine energy. So that's the old matrix right there. So if you can begin to break the habit of reacting and being the observer and noticing what you have to take offense at, because you're losing power every time you do it. So you need to literally begin to tap it out, have a session with me, whatever, but you need to tap it out, and you need to not lose yourself in the reaction, because you're losing power. The more you stop observing that, and the more you stop doing that, then all of a sudden your power and your energy and your life force is going to come back, and then you'll stop taking it in. And then as soon as they do it, you're like, new words will come up. And you're like, wow, you really need to treat me that way? Did you say the whole relationship and dynamics will begin to switch, and you'll start to include yourself in your own life instead of having somebody writing it for you. Okay. All right. I will read all the comments. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like so that you can get a card. Remember to, if you shared or whatever, you can share afterwards, and here you guys tell me, but I whatever's told me that you shared, I will give you a card. And after this, if you need anything, you have to make an appointment, because I this is where I do things for free, so that you can understand that you can grow and live and heal. Your life is not have to be written for you or stuck having it. I want you to be empowered to love and to grow. Okay? Share away so we can all take this new consciousness with us without having to feel like we have to be condemned. All right. And what do I always say? Love you, see you, and stay blessed. Oh, this is the camera. Stay blessed. Silly me. And you in YouTube land, thank you for everything. Stay blessed.